We have a Chicago Bears news alert for you guys as the waiver wire period has passed. And the Bears made 6 claims, but there's one we're going to focus on more than the others. That is Alex Leatherwood, the 17th overall pick in last year's draft, cut by the Raiders yesterday. Didn't know if a team would claim him. I knew he would sign with the team, and I had some interest with the Bears. Lo and behold, they put a claim out for him, and the Bears get him. And a lot to break down here, some finances to include, but let's look at what he did in the preseason most recently. Played in 91 snaps, gave up a sack, 4 hurries, 7 pressures. Not great, to be completely honest. And to kind of go back to the draft last year, most teams had a second or third round grade on him. In the Raiders, in classic John Gruden and Mike Mayock fashion, drafted him in round 1. But you're talking about a talented football player. He did start 17 games for the Raiders last year. He's got some experience, so I'm definitely very, very intrigued. I got more opinions. We'll give some thoughts on how he could fit in here and a lot of other things as well. Ian Rappaport broke down the finances for you guys. 3 years left on the deal, $5.9 million that is fully guaranteed, so that's not a crazy amount. Plus, they have the right to the 5th-year option, that being the Bears, so if he works out, they could get a 5th-year option for him. Vegas already paid 58.9% of it. So Raiders have already eaten up a decent amount of the money that Alex Leatherwood was owed. Bears take on $5.9 million. They had over $18 million in cap space before today's claim. So, let's just say minus $6 million. You're still going to have $12, $13 million to go. Maybe we'll call it 11 with the other claims as well. But pretty, I think it's a risk-reward type of deal, but not super risky to the point where I actually don't like it. I actually don't mind it at all. What is your one-word reaction to the Bears claiming Alex Leatherwood? Let me know in the comments. What is your one-word reaction to the Bears claiming Alex Leatherwood? I'll give you my one word after this YouTube ad break. My one-word reaction is calculated. Ryan Poles moved a lot of money around this offseason, took on some dead cap to set this team up for the future, and created the Bears with over $18 million in cap space, and that allowed him to go out and say, you know what, we could risk it and try to sign him as a free agent if no one claims him, but I want this guy, so I'm going to go get him because I have the money to do so. They take on the $5.9 million, so I think calculated is the word I will provide when it comes to the Bears going out and claiming Leatherwood. We'll see what type of player he could be. We'll talk about what his fit could be here in a moment, but as far as my initial reaction, my one-word reaction, I'll say calculated by Ryan Poles. This is why you subscribe to Chicago Bears Now. Bear down, hit the sub button, because when breaking news happens, we're probably going to go live just like we are today, but at very minimum, we will have a video for you guys on the channel, the latest news, rumors, other storylines around this football team. Football is back. Week 1 is almost here. Subscribe to the channel. We will continue to bring you guys the latest and greatest Chicago Bears news and rumors. All right, let's look back last year at Alex Leatherwood. It wasn't pretty. It really wasn't. Played over 1,100 snaps. Like I said, he played 17 games. 14 penalties. That's a lot. 8 sacks allowed. Not great. 17 hits, 65 pressures. He wasn't good. He was not good. Now, he played some tackle and guard. I think he's a much better guard. So you look at the depth chart. For now, and again, as we're filming this, we don't know which players have been cut, as the Bears have claimed 6 players. Again, we'll get to the other 5 players in a minute. But for now, I'll pencil him in as the backup right tackle to Larry Borom, but I'll be really curious to see what Ryan Poles and this coaching staff view him as. Do they view him as a guard? Do they view him as a tackle? We're going to hear from Poles and assistant GM Ian Cunningham tomorrow on Thursday, so I'm sure they'll have comments on this. Could Zach Thomas get cut and then Leatherwood works at guard and maybe he's your interior guard this year? And who knows, maybe he impresses enough where you cut Cody Whitehair next year, who can get out of his contract. You never know. That's a lot of projecting, but he's got tackle and guard experience. The question is, which position is better for him, and does he have the right attitude and motivation to be a good player in the NFL? There's talent there. He was a second, third round talent that went in the first round. I'll be curious to see how this plays out, but positionally for now, I'll pencil him in as the backup right tackle, but I think that could very much be in flux. Grade the Bears offensive line as a whole as it sits at this exact moment. A, B, C, D, or F. I do think it's better than last year, so B for better. You could go with that. If this is a C-plus unit this year, I'll be happy. Last year it was a D-, it was an F, it sucked. Give me an average to above average play. You'll have better production. Justin Fields will play better. Let me know. I'll say C-plus right now. I think there's some promising signs, but I'm not going to sit here and confuse this group with the 1990s Cowboys. Like, they have a long way to go to improve up front, but I think we're trending in the right direction there. C-plus for me. Let me know what you guys think. Get going with BetUS, our sportsbook partner here at Chicago Bears Now and at Chat Sports as a whole. If you haven't created an account yet, I suggest you do so. Go to chatsports.com/Bears. Use our promo code BEARDOWN. BetUS is a sportsbook that allows you to go bet on football games, play some future bets like divisional odds, Super Bowl odds, MVP, Rookie of the Year, etc. And you can do so at chatsports.com/Bears. Promo code BEARDOWN. Week 1 odds are out. The Niners, 7.5-point favorites. I like the Bears to cover there, if not win outright. So I might do a little Bears money line here and try to juice my odds here, make some extra money. Chatsports.com/Bears, promo code BEARDOWN. If you feel good about this game, go bet on it. Hell, if you don't feel good about the Bears, go bet on the Niners. You could do so today. Chatsports.com/Bears, promo code BEARDOWN for a 125% deposit bonus. All right, we've talked a lot about Alex Leatherwood, and rightfully so. But there were 5 other claims. Armon Watts, the defensive tackle. We'll talk about him a little bit more in a second. Josh Blackwell, the defensive back, who I will admit I don't know a ton about. I'm going to pull up his info here in just a second. Kingsley Johnathan, rotation defensive lineman here. We'll see how he fits in. Sterling Weatherford, the linebacker, which means likely Caleb Johnson or maybe even Jack Sanborn or Joe Thomas gets cut. And then Trevin Wesco. The Bears only carried 2 tight ends through the initial 53, Cole Kmet and Ryan Griffin, so they needed to bring someone else in here. I'll talk about Armon Watts for a sec here. Adam Hogue, who covers CHGO, also does the Hogue and Johns podcast with Adam Johns. They do a great job. Go check him out if you haven't already. He tweeted out that Watts was competing for a starting job in Minnesota before he got cut. And we talked about yesterday, defensive tackle is a position of need. You cut Trayvon Coley. You cut Mario Edwards. You kept Mike Pennell. Does he get cut now? Is he still in the mix? We'll see. We don't know who the Bears are cutting just yet. But Armon Watts, I think, is a guy that can give this team some punch. I looked up Josh Blackwell here. His college stats at Duke, 4-year player. He had, let's see, no interceptions in college, which not a great sign. Maybe he's a special teams type of guy. Did have 20 pass breakups in 4 seasons, so maybe kind of a developmental type of player. We talked about corner being a need. I don't know if this is the exact type of player I had in mind, but keep that in mind. Maybe you bring him in, Jalen Jones gets cut, something like that, because I think we were all pretty surprised that Jalen Jones got released. Practice squad news up to this point, and this is changing constantly, so I'll refresh my feed and just see if anything is new. You can add Nathan Peterman to the list. That one just came through. So 4 members of the practice squad: Nathan Peterman, Chase Allen, Kellen Diesch, Isaiah Coulter. Talk about each of these guys. Allen out of Iowa State. I like him. I like him returning to the practice squad. I think he's a developmental guy, good blocker. If he could improve as a pass catcher, I think he could be a 53 type of guy in the future. Kellen Diesch, I like him too. He should have been drafted. He was not. I think this is a lineman worth developing. And then Isaiah Coulter, who had a great preseason, worthy of a practice squad addition as well. We'll see if any of the other Bears players return. No Bears players that got cut got claimed by other teams. So the Bears can bring back whoever they want. Simba Webster, if they want to bring him back. If they want to revisit Daz Newsome, they can do that as well. I think Darrington Evans would be a practice squad candidate, so keep an eye on some of those names. All right, a lot of news. The headliner, Alex Leatherwood, coming to the Chicago Bears on the waiver wire. And by the way, the Bears were 7th in order of the waiver wire, so the 6 teams ahead of him did not put in a claim for him. So the Bears did, and they got him, obviously. First-round pick last year. Listen, Ryan Poles is a former offensive lineman. He's going to mix and match with these guys. He's going to work relentlessly to make sure the Bears have a good line currently and long-term. So Alex Leatherwood now in the mix. We'll see how he fits on this team, which is what brings us to this question. Will Leatherwood play tackle or guard for the Bears? What do you guys think, or what would you guys like to see maybe? Type T for tackle, type G for guard. Let me know. Where's Alex Leatherwood going to play in Chicago?